Meine Lieben, ihr glaubt es nicht. Es ist gleich soweit. Der Stream startet. Dabei. Ich hoffe, das wird geil, Digga. Login und schreibt in die Kommentare bei Vince Jordan auf jeden Fall. Lasst Abo und ein Like da, um nichts zu verpassen. Wir gehen rein in 20 Sekunden. Skirt! Die neue Klasse ist halt krank, ne? Was da angeteasert wurde. Mit der Auto-Attack nach hinten bewegen, dabei schießen. Ist halt ganz unnormal krank. Job kündigen und nur noch zocken. Tag und Nacht.
And then there are the spellcasters. The sorceress is a pure caster who much prefers to stay at range and drop powerful spells on her foes. If she finds herself surrounded by enemies, she would rather use an ability to escape than to take them on directly.
Es sieht einfach viel geiler aus. Also warum DIABLO auch nicht annähernd so ein schönes Ding hat.
The druid is also a spellcaster, but unlike the sorceress, he uses his spells. Each of these classes feels extremely different to play, but we want to go even further. It's time to check out the mercenary.
Ja, okay. Jetzt, da ist er. Damals viele sich gewundert. Ja. Ist halt krank, dass er halt... Ich schätze mal, das ist so eine aufgeladene, kanalisierende Fähigkeit. Deswegen kann er sich dabei so nach hinten bewegen. Genau. Weil normalerweise muss man halt mit der Maus tappen, damit das funktioniert. Ihr wisst schon, was ich meine. Aber krank, nice.
When thinking about each new class, we really try to think about how we can make combat feel different from all the others. For the mercenary, that difference is the crossbow. A crossbow is fundamentally different than a regular bow because it fires instantly instead of needing to be drawn back. This means that you need immediate feedback. Clicking the fire button should make the character shoot instantly, just like in a shooter. As soon as we experience that, we realize that there are a lot of design lessons to learn from shooters, and so we fully embraced them.
Das hat man ja schon gesehen.
Part of Exile 2, we have crossbows that work like sniper rifles, shotguns,
und dann diese
and assault rifles.
Oder?
But in order to really get shooter-like gameplay, we wanted to go further. In Path of Exile 2, we now support WASD movement. You can now walk around in any direction independent of aiming. In fact, if this is your preferred method of gameplay, you can use it on any class, regardless of what weapon type you're using.
Geil.
You can change between click to move or WASD at any time.
So macht man das, Alter. So macht man das.
You can only hold 2 crossbows at a time, but Path of Exile 2 is all about interesting combinations of abilities, and this is where ammo skills come in.
Ammo skills?
This is a burst shot crossbow, and right now I have armor piercing ammo equipped, which makes it very effective when facing a group of enemies, since it pierces right through them.
Bloody horrors!
But there are other ammos too. For a bigger single target, it might be a good idea to switch to incendiary. The more projectiles hit the target, the stronger the ignite. So you'll want to get up nice, close and personal with this one.
Brutal, brutal, richtig gut.
If you have a bunch of targets running at you, you might want to slow them down. In this case, you could switch to permafrost burst shot. Shooting a bunch of smaller enemies at range will chill them, and potentially even freeze them in place.
Wie die eingefroren werden und dann wirklich verlangsamt werden.
Once you have some frozen enemies though, you can switch back to armor piercing. Shooting a frozen enemy with armor piercing burst shot will explode the ice, doing a huge amount of damage to all nearby.
Geil! Ah, die ficken einfach Diablo vor. Krampf. Ich hab Krampf gehabt gerade. Alter, das ist ja unnormal. Geil!
Another feature crossbows have is attachments. This is a grenade launcher. As you can see, when I equip it, it appears on the underside of the crossbow. These attachments are just like skill gems, so you effectively get extra skill slots, and you can augment these with support gems, just like regular skills.
Fire in the hole!
These grenades take a while to explode, so it's a good idea to pair them with some kind of crowd control, like permafrost burst shot.
Geil. Also was es da für Möglichkeiten dann auch wieder gibt, ist einfach nice, ja. Ist einfach nice.
We have other grenades too though. This attachment is a flash grenade. It does barely any damage, but it does a huge amount of stun. It can be a great opener before you run into combat.
Boom, boom, boom. Boah, ich will gar nicht wissen, was man da für geile Blitz bauen kann. Die Kreaturen auch, die da sind. Das ist so nice.
Now, here's another attachment, an oil grenade. Firing one of these grenades coats the ground and nearby enemies in oil. Oil slows enemies down, so it's another useful crowd control mechanic.
Monster,
Now,
die sich
another thing
bewegen
that oil
kämpfen.
can do is be set on fire. Any burning enemy or
geil.
explosion will
Oh.
ignite the oil, causing
Ja.
extra burning damage.
Ja, nice. Und dann richtig, wie das Feuer übergeht zu den einzelnen Kreaturen. Sick. Ja, ist schön.
One of the problems with burst shot crossbows is that each pellet doesn't do much damage individually. This means that if enemies have armor, then it will be very effective preventing that damage. But thankfully, you can equip an additional crossbow in your second weapon set to deal with the weaknesses of your primary weapon. This is a rapid shot crossbow. Rapid shot is great for closing on enemies because you can shoot while running. In Path of Exile 2, we now have the ability to allow you to use some skills while moving. Being able to create skills like this opens up a lot of new design space and allows us to really increase the pace of combat.
Ja, das ist halt, was ich meinte, ne? Schon sehr geil.
The armor-piercing version of Rapid Shot slowly erodes a monster's armor. Once the armor is fully broken, you can easily switch back to Burst Shot to deal much more damage.
Sehr fett. Der Chat rastet aus.
Being able to run while shooting with Rapid Shot is also great for when you want to perform a fighting retreat.
Reload!
Using permafrost ammo with Rapid Shot is also useful if you need to retreat.
Das macht jetzt schon
When
einfach
you
so
shoot the ground,
Spaß
it creates ice crystals. If you draw monsters back over these crystals, they explode, chilling the monsters. It's great if you want to set up a safe zone before pulling the next pack.
Ja, Mann. Oh, ist das geil.
Slowing enemies down can come in handy if you want to use the incendiary version of Rapid Shot. Using this skill requires that you charge up a little bit before it fires, but as it continues to heat up, it will do more and more damage. It has a really large clip size, so you can just keep firing and firing with it. But the other really useful feature is that when the crossbow is heated up, it adds extra fire damage to any grenade that you
What
launch.
the fuck, Alter? Das ist einfach das Second Slay unserer Träume, ne? Was soll man dazu sagen? Das wird genau das sein. Es wird das Second Slay unserer Träume. Unserer tiefsten
Now I've been
Begierden.
using explosive grenades here, but it will work equally as well with flash or oil grenades too. If you use it with oil grenades, the oil will catch fire immediately.
Ah, da kannst du. Boah, das ist geil, ja. Da kannst du diesen Damage raushauen und so. Boah, boah. Kriegst du einen angenehmen Halbstreifen einfach. Direkt.
Another crossbow type that you can find is Power Shot. This one works just like a classic sniper rifle. Use it with armor-piercing ammo and it will penetrate armor on targets. So it's a good idea to use when something's really tough.
Back down or die!
Lass mal direkt einen Trank nehmen. Ich sehe es jetzt schon kommen. Wir werden so oft sterben.
Now
in dem
this skill has another interesting interaction with armor break. If an enemy has its armor broken, then your Power Shot hits a weak spot and does a huge amount of single target damage, with a bunch of extra stun for good measure.
Loot ist auch wieder bescheiden, ne? Der droppt. Man kennt es.
Now, the incendiary version of Power Shot is more like a rocket launcher. It does a big explosive blast at a distance.
Geil. Alter, guck dir das an.
One of the really useful features of this version is that you can explode any grenades that happen to be on the ground. This combo
Ja,
also
bisschen wie
works
so ein,
really well with
so ein
incendiary
Miner-Bild, ne?
rapid shot.
Wie so ein Miner
I'm
ein
gonna
bisschen.
charge up the heat on my crossbow, shoot out a bunch of grenades, and then start the fireworks with a power shot.
Bam, 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 bam.
The ice version of Power Shot creates frost walls at a distance. This is great for crowd controlling monsters in tight passages.
Digga, warum ficken die mich so hart, Mann? Das ist so geil einfach.
The wall segments have other uses too. If they get destroyed by monsters, then they will explode, doing a small amount of damage.
Block him in!
Das ist so krank, Alter.
Now, remember that burst shot combo with frozen enemies we did earlier? That works with ice walls too. Let's put burst shot back on.
Aber da hast du ja auch immer dann 2, 3 Waffen im
Now
Inventar,
I can
damit
fill
du
up this area with ice walls
wechseln
and
kannst,
shoot
ne?
them with armor-piercing burst shot for a huge amount of damage.
Aber das ist so geil. Leute, schreibt auf jeden Fall in die Kommentare, wie ihr das findet. Würde mich sehr interessieren. Für mich, Next Level, das ist ein Hack and Slay, wie es sein sollte. Vergesst Diablo 4. Aua.
Alright, it's time to face the boss for this area.
Ja,
Let's see how
das
we
wird
fare
toll.
against her with all the skills I've shown you so far.
I'm not letting you anywhere near him.
Oh, wenn ich schon sehe, wie langsam die Leiste runtergekriechen.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 no. Ah! Ja, wie geil das. Vorhin hat sie da so ein komisches Kind rausgeworfen. Wie bei The Witcher hier. What the fuck? Das ist doch kein Bossfight mehr, Alter. Das ist ein... Alter, das ist krank. Boah, das ist so geil. Ich hab da so Bock zu spielen. Ja, es wird mein Leben verändern. Hier auf dem Kanal. Ich sag's euch. Nur noch Part of Exiles.
Piercing shot.
Oh, oh. Ein Trank? Will er keinen Trank nehmen oder was?
What is going on in this godforsaken city?
And that's the Mercenary. It feels totally different than anything we've made before, and shows you the range of what's possible in Path of Exile 2.
Mein Leben ist vorbei. Bam, Digga. Einfach zu sick, Mann. Zu sick, Alter. Abonniert den Kanal, Alter. Was ist denn los? Boom, Bitch.